postgraduate degree in Kolhapur in the year 1974-76. And my colleague here sitting next to me who joined me is Ashok Edurkar. We both were in the same batch. And today when I saw Dr. Rao here giving a lecture, it took me back to 42 years. I went back 42 years in my life, and I was remembering the first day of my MBA college when I was, and Ashok Edurkar and the other batchmates, we were sitting and listening to him. And what we are today, we dedicate to him and the other professors who groomed us. We would not have reached where we are today had it not been for those fantastic inspirational speakers and the inspirational teachers that we had in those days. Thank you very much for that. I told Dr. Thorat that if Dr. Rao would be here listening to my speech, it would have been like a Guru Dakshina from my side. You know, it would have been so fantastic because it's the first time he is listening to me after 42 years he taught. Well, the agenda for today, ladies and gentlemen, is employability. Employability is a vast subject, and I can speak to you on this subject the whole day. I can speak to the whole day. But given the limitations of time, I will dwell on some of the critical elements of employability, interspersed with some relevant examples seen in my 42 years of real-life corporate experience gathered in India and abroad. Before I proceed, just a little brief about what I did after I finished off my MBA. I worked in all the 5 continents. Asia was not the only continent. I worked in the Americas, I worked in Europe, I worked in Australia, New Zealand, I worked in Africa, and I worked in almost every other place. And that was a fantastic experience for me, having gathered a tremendous amount of rich experience there. I worked majorly into FMCG. I was more into fast-moving consumer goods. I worked with companies like Nestle, like Lancaster, Heinz, etc. And also in the steel industry, which was a turning point in my career. And that was the best period for me in my life, in my career, having worked for a steel mill, selling pipes. Because if somebody tells you that you're selling shampoos, and you're selling toothpaste, and you're selling hair dyes, and suddenly somebody tells me that go and sell steel pipes, it's a challenge. But we took that, and probably that was one of the best. And the case study which we did, which probably, if I get an opportunity, I will discuss those studies with you. It was a Blue Ocean strategy which was created, which is now as one of the case studies in the Indian Institute of Management. It was fine. So, though I've spent my time in marketing, I spent my time in sales, but my heart always was in HR. And therefore, employability and anything to do with HR, I'll be the first to do that. It is something very, very important, and as the great orator, Dr. Mahajan spoke, you know, HR is something what he gave a quotation which I've written down, which is something fantastic. Which is really something fantastic, which really stirs you. And you know, I can quote one example when Henry Ford was selling off his business units, the factory he sold. He told that I will sell my factory, but I will not give up my people, because factories can be built by the same people. So I will not give them up. And that is basically what is the basic fundamentals of what HR is. And employability is very important. And I will now take you further into what is employability and what we understand as employability. So what is employability? If I ask you what exactly is employability, it's very simple. You don't really have to crack your brains and say that it's a big definition. No, it's a very small definition. Employability is defined as the capability to secure and maintain satisfactory work, and is all about what skills you have and how you can demonstrate those skills to the employers that you have. It is as simple as that. That is what is employability. There is no high quantity. It is basically your skills. What skills you have, and to your employers. Because today you are students, tomorrow you are going to work. You are going to find out an employer. And so how you are going to demonstrate your skills to those employers and to find a satisfactory work. That is what is the definition of employment. There's nothing beyond it. Now, why is it important? Now, if it is so simple, employability is so simple, then why it is so important for us to understand what is employability? Let's go through that. It's a huge opportunity for India and its citizens at this point of time. All the speakers before me have already told this. They already told that it's a huge, huge opportunity, and Dr. Painter did quote figure saying that about 1.6 crores or 1.6 billion jobs will be created in the next 10 years. The International Monetary Fund referred to India as a bright spot on the global economic landscape. Make in India, the flagship initiative by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, elevates the revival of Indian manufacturing as an engine of long-term growth. And under the initiative, 25 sectors have been identified for job creation and skill development. This is huge. That's how the whole world is evolving. That's how the economic scenario is evolving now. There will be an explosion. There will be an explosion of opportunities for students in the fast-growing economic scenario, but the companies will face challenges to source the right candidate. That's going to be a big challenge. It's a big challenge. The challenge still is there now. When we were when I was in the corporate and when we were recruiting people, the biggest challenge that we face that we are not getting the right type of people. We have interviewed thousands of candidates, but we found that there is some gap. Gap in the competencies and gap in the job requirements. This is a big gap. Therefore, I say that it's but the companies will face challenges to source the right candidate, and therefore, on one hand, you have got an explosion of opportunities. On the other hand, you're going to have a big challenge that how to select the right candidate. This brings to the center stage the Industry Institute partnership to develop methods to enhance employability of students. And therefore, we now are talking about IIP. Earlier we were not talking much about IIP, but today we talk about IIP. Employability is all about personal attributes, working with others, achievements at work, future skills, learning and how to develop them. This is what is employment. The students, please remember that. What are your personal attributes? How do you work with others? What are the skills of working with others? Achievements at work. How much are you going to achieve at work? What are the things that you are going to achieve in your work? What are your future skills that will be required? And learning and how to develop them. Remember one thing, even today, at my age, even I am still learning. I'm still learning. And therefore learning is a continuous process. Now, I'm just giving you a quote on, this has come from the Boston Business Group, BCG. The students require 16 skills to compete in the 21st century. And these are the 16 skills. The skills are divided into foundational literacies, competencies and character qualities. And under foundation literacy, you should be literacy, numeracy, scientific literacy, ICT, financial literacy, cultural and civic literacy. Under competencies, you will be having to know critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, communication, collaboration. And finally, when you come to character qualities, how curious you are, what is your initiative that you take, what is the persistent grit, adaptability, leadership, social and cultural awareness. These are the 16 skills that you require. The students will require in this 21st century. Employability skills.
Please go to objectives.
To the
Objective. Of the study.
Of the study.
Objective.
Objective of this study. Okay. So we skip this employability part of it. Okay, now we coming down to the objective. Why we are talking about this is what are the issues corporates are facing today for hiring students? Many job aspirants looking at the careers from a myopic view of brands and fancy designations coupled with fat salaries. That is what students are really looking at now. They want to look into very short term. I want a big salary and I want a good designation. Number two, the MBA institutes are not equipped to provide the detailed personality and aptitude assessment of students to the companies who visit them for campus recruitment. The students do not have the required skills that match the job requirements which I told about. And the failing to get the right fit for the job, the companies lose on productivity and the desired return on investment, and therefore there is a higher rate of attrition. That's what he was saying now, Dr. Rajan, that company people are taking jobs, but after 6 months they fire or they leave jobs. That is attrition. How can the educational institutes help to mitigate these concerns? Prepare the students for the world of work and introduce them to employers and what they are looking for the potential future recruits. Develop skills that are lacking in students such as communication, teamwork, problem solving, negotiation, computer literacy. And support the students in developing the core skills and competencies valued by employers, building confidence and experience to make the successful transition from education to the world of work.
Please come out to the output.
So developing the students' employability skills is more important than ever in today's economic climate, and understanding the needs of employees is critical to building the confidence and experience. Now we say that what are the tools? We talk about psychometrics, which is an effective tool for measuring student capabilities and employability, which is a standardized way of measuring skills. They are known as aptitude tests, and they may include personality tests or a combination of both. And over 90% of larger companies use psychometric testing. Many medium and small companies also use tests to assess candidates. And the career and employability team of the companies.
Please tell me how you understand that employability of the student need to be looked at seriously by the student and university.
Employability of the students.
To be looked at seriously by the student and university. How you come out with this?
The answer is very simple. See, if the student is employed, he contributes to the GDP.
No, I didn't get the question.
Sir, my question that you did the research the private data or it is totally secondary data?
No, it is secondary data. It is the data which we did ourselves. Like when we used, because we were using psychometric tests. Okay, we were using psychometric tests ourselves in organizations. That's why.
Okay.
Because, even if you look into the Harvard Business Review by September 2013, it says that roughly 18% of companies use psychometric tests. And the number is growing at the rate of 10 to 15% every year. That is what we are trying to tell you, that the importance of psychometric tests is going to be critical in understanding the student.
That is a good question.
That is the linkage.
That is there.
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So, we proceed on. Let me give me just 1 minute, because this is more important. That is where the linkages I want to really bring it to the forum. Is why do employees use them? Employees are testing with getting unbiased evaluation, different points of recruitment process, and it is a common graduate recruitment process. How are the students benefit? When they go for a basic interview, they will be able to express their strength in a meaningful and a confident way. The report shows that the strengths and development areas, and working on the development areas and telling potential employees about the strengths to get the best possible. And employers are benefiting simply to say that they are getting the right person for the right job. It's as simple as that. And institutes are benefited because, I'll go to the last point, increased placement success rate as a brand image. This is very, very important because, frankly speaking, we have been talking about psychometric analysis to a number of institutes in Pune, but still, it doesn't get into them. When we say that you're going to differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack, then they say that, okay, then we are interested. So actually we are talking about psychometric analysis of students, which should be a part of the curriculum to increase the success rate and to improve the branding.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Say if you even conduct the psychometric test for the students in the institute level, the demand that the industries have, or the expectations that the industries have, how much or how far do you think the psychometric test will help the industry get the right person for the right work?
See, okay, now it's a good question that you have asked, and I would like to answer this question. Every position in an organization has got certain job competencies or personal traits competencies are there, which comes into the job description. It comes into the job description. Like for example, if I'm going to recruit a general manager for an organization, the person must have leadership qualities, right? The person must be able to work under pressure. The person must be innovative. The person should work in a team. The person should be a team builder. The person should have a mission. The person should be able to craft the future for the company. Psychometric analysis gives this. And because when I was a general manager, even I had to undergo a psychometric analysis test before they appointed me a job. Because they want to know that this is what is my job requirement, whether the person that we are recruiting, whether he has the requisite qualities, whether he has got the requisite things for that job. Otherwise it doesn't work. And that is what the psychometric test is.
Job profile.
Yeah, it's a job profile. It has to be connected. It has to be
That
connected.
question is given to know that they are various sections that can be
Let's see, today I will not disclose the name of the organization because I've signed a confidential list with it. I'm working on a very large organization today whose biggest problem today is attrition. Biggest problem today is attrition. They say that even general managers, even senior engineers, they join the company and within 2 months they leave the organization. What should we do? The simple question which I asked is that are you doing any psychometric analysis of the person before you take them? They said no. Now they're doing it. Now every single candidate who is being interviewed, whether he's an engineer, whether he's a logistics guy, whether he's a storekeeper, whether he's a accountant or a clerical job, they send the requirements to us and we do a psychometric analysis and we say this candidate is right or not. Whether this candidate is going to be there with you or not. And the attrition rate has come down. In the last 3 months, it has come down from 25% to 8.3%. That's it. Thank you.